Hello, good evening. In Rio de Janeiro, it's England against Brazil. They're coming towards the end of the first half. England are a goal up. Let's go to Brian Moore.
The bind goes round the keeper. And England sensationally have just gone into the lead right on half-time with a goal by John Barnes. He went right through the entire Brazilian defence, round the keeper, and put it past Roberto Costa. What a sight that was for English eyes here. And in fact, England performed really quite creditably up to this point. They might have gone a goal behind in the very first minute. Shilton made a great save. He was forced to make another save before 10 minutes were up. Hasty had a shot chipped away by the Brazilian goalkeeper, and England more and more began to get into this game, began to defend well, and then, sensationally, this huge crowd in the Maracanã Stadium in Rio was virtually silenced when John Barnes ran past, I would say, 4 to 5 defenders, and gathered pace as he went, kept his head superbly, and would you believe it, put the ball past Roberto Costa.
Well, there we are. It's marvellous news over there in Rio de Janeiro. Just as you were joining us, England, who'd played really well, took the lead. It was a sensational goal scored by John Barnes, running from deep inside his own half. England have been holding on well. In fact, they'd survived a fair amount of Brazilian pressure early on, come into the game pretty well. Mark Hateley did well with a decent header. And then right on half-time came that goal scored by John Barnes. It was a sensational effort. As I say, we're going to show it you in just a couple of moments. We've got the two lads here, Jimmy Greaves and Ian St John. Jimmy, your view so far?
Well, it was an even game up until the last half a minute, Jim. And Barnes has just scored one of the best goals I've ever seen scored in an England shirt.
Yeah, sensational. Great goal, Jim. And I think England just about deserve, I think, Jimmy, to be ahead, because they fought terrific. I mean, in the first 45 minutes, they played very, very well. Better, I think, than you and I thought they would do.
Yeah, well, Brazil have not really produced anything too great here. And England have held on, and they've actually got into the game, Jim. And as I say, it was sensational stuff just coming up.
Surely we're going to see the goal in just a couple of moments' time. But until then, I mean, we've been watching the whole of the first half. It had been a very, very respectable performance by England, who'd gone over there, Ian, well, without a real prayer.
Well, they had, Jim, and in the early part of the game, you know, Brazil were on top of, obviously, the crowd, you know, getting behind them and one thing and another. But once England settled down and defended well, the crowd turned on the Brazilian players, and England gradually got back into the game. And towards the end of the half, always looked as if they might score a goal. OK, we can now have a little look at that goal. You've all been waiting for it. It's a tremendous effort, well worth seeing. And here it comes for you now.
Yeah. It's done very quickly when things don't go well, but it's still 0-0, coming towards half-time. Hasty for England. That's a good ball there for Barnes. Now, can he take Leandro? John Barnes now. It might go all the way for England. Barnes! He scored! And England, amazingly, are into the lead. Right on half-time. His first goal for England, and what a place to get it. John Barnes, that long, mazy dribble. And Barnes here in Rio has performed a miracle there. What a sight that was. Just look at it again. Through the entire Brazilian defence, with marvellous presence of mind, goes round the keeper. And England, sensationally, have just gone into the lead right on half-time with a goal by John Barnes.
Well, sensational goal. Jimmy Greaves, John Barnes had joined a very exclusive club there, because only you and Colin Bell have scored in the Maracanã.
Yes.
But surely that goal tops the lot.
I think that was a little bit better than Collins or myself. I've got to admit that. That was absolutely fabulous.
Ian, I mean, we talk about great goals scored by Brazilians, but I mean, for an individual effort,
tremendous.
It doesn't come any better.
But I think what you might also say is that young Hateley started to move off, Jim, controlled the ball lovely, turned and played a great ball out to the flanks. Now, he's had a good game, hasn't he, Jim? I think Hateley's played very well.
He's done very well, Ian. He's taken a lot of buffeting, hasn't he, by the Brazilian defence? Because what people don't realise, the back four of the Brazilians, they all kick a bit, you know, and they get their bodies in between you and the ball, and they really give you a pasting. And he's ridden it well, as young Mark.
OK, well, we're going to have you both back in a couple of minutes' time. We're going to show you highlights. And welcome back. It's half-time in Rio. England are a goal up against Brazil. We've pieced together the highlights of the first half for you, and watch out for a brilliant piece of work from John Barnes.
Aziz, but Chamberlain finding Woodcock for England. Woodcock's pass going straight to Roberto, and Renato coming in early on, and Shilton saving well there as Renato came in, a mistake of England's making, and it very nearly cost them a goal in the opening minute. They can be so dangerous from these sort of positions. 3 men in the English wall, and Shilton busy lining it up. And Zenon, the captain, behind it. Aziz has gone in there, and curled right in there, straight at the keeper. Well, Roberto's in there, Aziz is in there, but Duxbury was there too. Zenon playing it now for Tato. Will he chip it back in? He has. Oh, and Aziz missed a chance there. Zenon, and a great save by Shilton. Brazil's captain so close to putting his side into the lead with 10 minutes gone. And Shilton, not for the first time in the game here, saving superbly. A terrible miss-kick, though, by Aziz. A fine piece of keeping by Shilton. Oh, Watson missed out. And Moses' shot is wide of the goal. Leandro, oh, misunderstanding there. Here comes Chamberlain. Got the pace, he's got the support, and the support comes from Robson. And Robson going all the way to the byline, calling for a chip. Hateley's there with a header, and pushed away by keeper Roberto Costa. Good break there by England. Some lovely play by Robson, and that's what Mark Hateley is in the side for, to provide that option, to get up well as he does here. And the keeper was happy to tip that one away. Tato. No foul, play on, says the referee. Again, that cross curling in towards Roberto. Not inbound that time to Zenon. Over the top, They turn very quickly when things don't go well, but it's still 0-0, coming towards half-time. Hateley for England. That's a good ball there for Barnes. Now, can he take Leandro? John Barnes now. Might go all the way for England. Barnes. He scored. And England, amazingly, are into the lead. Right on half-time. His first goal for England. And what a place to get it. John Barnes, that long, mazy dribble. And Barnes here in Rio has performed a miracle there. What a sight that was. Just look at it again. Through the entire Brazilian defence, with marvellous presence of mind, goes round the keeper. And England, sensationally, have just gone into the lead, right on half-time.
Yes, right on half-time with that unbelievable goal from, because the Brazilian team are out there already.
Oh.
Don't forget, we're going to see the second half live. Let's just give you a reminder of the two teams playing out there. The England team, Shilton, Duxbury and Sanson, the two defenders, and Watson and Fenwick in the middle there. Ray Wilkins and Brian Robson, just the two in midfield. Chamberlain and Barnes on the wing, although they've been tucking in, and Hateley, the new man, and Tony Woodcock with his experience up front. And the Brazilian team, well, there we are. Costa, the goalkeeper. Leandro, you remember him from the World Cup. Ricardo making his debut at centre-back. Moser, a big sweeper. Junior, brilliant fullback. Midfield, Perez, Zenon and Assis. Renato up front with Roberto and Tato, number 11. We're now going to go back to the Maracanã, live to Brian Moore.
Well, welcome back to the Maracanã Stadium in Rio. It's at about 5:30 in the evening here. The temperature's still into the mid-70s, but it's really going to warm up in the next 45 minutes as this huge crowd here in a stadium that was built for the 1950 World Cup and holds a little under 200,000. Well, it's not full, but it's a mighty crowd. Will be bellowing on their Brazilian side in an effort to save the night here against England. England leading 1-0. John Barnes' marvellous goal right on half-time. Last time England beat Brazil was 28 years ago in 1956 at Wembley by 4-2 in the days of Billy Wright and Sir Stanley Matthews played that day. Well, Brazil then in the yellow shirts, blue shorts, England in an all-white strip with red socks, attacking the goal to our left England. Robson to Woodcock, who looked as though he was feeling a little bit of his hamstring during a part of that first half. He was doubtful up until a couple of days ago. An offside flag up against Mark Hateley, but the referee from Chile chose to ignore it. Here comes Tato, one of 5 new caps in this Brazilian side. Now the number 5, Junior, one of their heroes from the 1982 World Cup. Tremendous player, the fullback, playing to his other fullback, Leandro. He was another member of the 1982 World Cup squad, and the only 2 left in this side, in fact. Here's Renato, who might easily have scored in the opening minute of the game, but for Shilton. Good work by Sanson now for England. It really is a question, because you can be sure the Brazilians will come whether England's defence can hold on. Zenon, the captain, curiously the captain and making his first appearance for Brazil. Assis, another player making his first appearance at the age of 31 on the far side there, number 10. Now number 11 is Tato. Aziz. Oh, it fell wide of Junior. Hateley was able to find Woodcock. Gets it back again to Mark Hateley. Tony Woodcock once more. Chamberlain tucked in behind him. In all that talk of 4-2-4 that Bobby Robson would employ, but there's no doubt about it that both Barnes and Chamberlain have done a fair bit of work in the midfield for England tonight, leaving just Woodcock and Hateley up front. Well, the stage really is set for a magnificent second half, and England truly have battled with tremendous spirit here. After a really shaky start, when but for Shilton they might have been 2 down in the first 10 minutes, as Watson and Fenwick were beginning to feel their way, their combination together for the first time at the centre of the defence. But they held out, grew in confidence as the first half went on. And then, of course, that marvellous moment with John Barnes. Well, here's Robson, absolutely inspirational again in the midfield for England. Insisted today, incidentally, on wearing the number 7 shirt. He'd been wearing the number 8, but he prefers, he says, the number 7. Well, at the moment, we haven't got to worry about that because it's Zenon bringing it up, the captain for Brazil. Fenwick was there doing a good job for England, but only comes as far as Renato. Wide for Leandro, the fullback. You'll see that their defenders and midfield players love to get into attacking positions, but here's Renato. Sanson holding him off well, and he'd had a good first half, Kenny Sanson. Did a fair amount of tackling in his own right as well. Pires, the busy little midfield player, finding Zenon, his captain. Tato on the far side. And now on for Aziz. Left-footed cross coming in towards Renato again. It was Sanson who got it half away. Pires brought down, free kick. This could be trouble for England. We know from old how devastating they can be just outside the penalty area. It's true there's no Rivellino in the side these days, but Roberto, the number 9, has a blistering free kick. And we saw Zenon curl a dangerous one in at Shilton in the first half. Looks as though it might be Roberto, indeed it is, the number 9 who's lining it up. Mr. Dynamite they call him, although Zenon is also placed just behind it. Now as the wall lined up, the curler goes in straight into Shilton, no problem. Reminding you, England have never won here in the Maracanã Stadium in Brazil, leading by a goal to nil if you've just joined us, with 4 minutes of the second half gone. Chamberlain. Bobby Robson was telling me, what, about a half an hour before the start, I hope everybody at home will agree with my philosophy that we've got to go for them. I know if Brazil were coming at me with 4-2-4, I'd be worried, but it really is a night when Chamberlain and Barnes can truly make a name for themselves? Well, I'd imagine little did Bobby know at that moment what a night it could be for John Barnes, scoring that sensational goal for England just before half-time. Shilton with the clearance. Over Leandro's head, and here is Barnes. He's an experienced fullback, Leandro, and he's in the mood now. Barnes brought down, free kick, given away by Moser, who, as you can see from that picture there, is none too happy with the support he got from his fullback, Leandro. And it's true that this crowd gets a little bit on the backs of the Brazilians as well when things aren't going right. Now, Wilkins, Fennick behind it, Brian Robson there too. Barnes just off it. Hately on the far side, Woodcock's in too. It's going to be Robson curling it deep to the far side to Hately, who is offside. It's a magnificent looking stadium, this Maracanã, but the pitch, I'm sad to say, doesn't quite live up to it. It's a little bit bumpy. The England players were quite disappointed when they got on it yesterday, and Peter Shilton was saying the thing that worries him is that you do get the occasional very nasty bump and bounce when the ball is coming to you in goal. And Ray Wilkins was saying this is why the Brazilians' touch is always so fine and delicate, because if it isn't on a pitch like this, they'd be dead. Well, they're a goal down now, and here comes Renato. And again, Sanson got to his task well. It's a pitch here where 3 games a week are played on it right through the year. Robson tangling with Junior. Robson winning the battle and finding Hately. And Woodcock's up with him. The Brazilians are struggling to get back, and it's still with Hately. Now, can he do a Barnes? He can't, but he gets a free kick right on the edge of the box. Hately got up in an instant and thought for a moment it might have been just inside. But the referee, Cardellino from Chile, has given the free kick. And I think you'll agree there, at least from my monitor here, it did look just outside. Now, can England find something? What a sight it would be if they could find a second goal. Robson, Wilkins, Woodcock there, Fennick again. And the Chilean referee insisting on the Brazil wall being back 10 yards. Denon, the captain at the moment, is about 2 yards off the ball. Now, is Wilkins going to drive it? Is Robson going to drive it? Fennick's going to chip it, and it just went over. Well, that took the Brazilians by surprise. It was a lovely little move there. And Fennick wasn't very far off the mark. It was interesting when they came here to train yesterday. There's the free kick. They didn't try any of their free kick moves because the Brazilians had been training just before. And Bobby Robson knew that 1 or 2 spies were still lurking. And he said, we'll keep them in the dark on that. Maybe only 20 minutes to 6 at night, but it's pitch black here in Rio now. Beautiful sunny day has left us, and here's Tato now for Brazil on the far side. And a corner given to Brazil, conceded by Duxbury. And it's going to be Junior to take it. Roberto in there, Assis in there, Renata's in there too. A long, long curling one, and England defenders have got to handle it. Moses shot way off the target. Barnes really didn't get much of a clearance in there. England under siege for the moment. Chamberlain could do nothing about it. Here's little Zenon, the captain for Brazil. Leandro. England under a little bit of pressure now as he finds Renato. Oh, and he's offside. Shilton with the ball now for England. Brazil's throw. Last time England played here was 1977. They got a goalless draw then. And Ray Wilkins, the only member of the England side who played on that day. Although Peter Shilton was in the squad, Ray Clements kept goal on that occasion. Here's young Ricardo making his first appearance for Brazil at the age of 19. Played in for Pires. Back again for Pires. But it fell for England and it falls for Hateley. Barnes. Wilkins. And Barnes keeping it in play. Well, goal kick. We talk about the players missing from the England side. In all, it's something like 15 who are either not available or are injured. Not making it easy for Bobby Robson, but the same really goes to a certain extent for Brazil, without people like Zico and Socrates, and Falcao and Cerezo, and Oscar, the big defender, who's injured. So it's very much an experimental side for Brazil as well. At the moment, England leading by 1-0. 11 minutes of the second half gone. The goal scored right on half-time by John Barnes. Leandro. On. Brazilian crowd usually love that little bit of skill, but when it doesn't come off, and particularly when they're a goal down, they're not too pleased with it. Robson, much more straightforward ball, finding Wilkins, turned on again for Hateley, who's onside, and Wilkins now leading the charge for England. No foul given, although it certainly looked like one. And England have made one or two quite promising looking breaks as Brazil have pushed men forward. One by Hateley 2 or 3 minutes ago, and then a combination of Hateley and Wilkins there. But here come Brazil once more. It's Zenon, their captain. Pires. Now Junior. Pires. Trying to get the ball through to Roberto. And in the end, England struggling to get it away. Tato taking it up on the far side, gets his cross in. Dave Watson with his header away. Wilkins helping it on. And it only comes as far as Aziz. England under a lot of pressure now. And Shilton... Woodcock. Pires. Zenon. Again, Sanson doubling back well and gets it through to Shilton. He's had a good game, Kenny Sanson. He is. But the man he's been marking, Renato, has a tremendous amount of skill and pace. On Chamberlain through to Woodcock, tried to hold off his man, but Ricardo was too strong for him. Pires for Brazil. England still holding on to 1-0. Sanson. Oh, now Renato! And Shilton saves! For once, Kenny Sanson was beaten, but Peter Shilton wasn't. And Renato had a glorious chance there to make the equaliser for Brazil. There was the slip by Sanson. Renato now on his way onto the left foot, and Shilton down in a flash. Had 3 tremendous saves that Shilton's made in this game. And that was the last in the line. It was hit with power, as you could see. Junior, who appears to be on his way to Italy, the man on the ball at the moment. The rumours were Naples, but I gather it's almost 95% certain he will go to the Turin club Torino. Ricardo, Here's Junior again. A little chip through towards Assis, but it was too firm and Shilton was too quick. There's the scoreline, Brazil 0, England 1, 15 minutes of the second half gone. Ricardo. Sanson and Robson. Watson, get it back safely, yes. Again, a great roar in the Maracanã Stadium, trying to urge this Brazilian side on towards an equaliser as Paisley clashes there with Pires. And now Chamberlain for England. I must say the Chilean referee has let an awful lot go, but he's played some good advantages, and here's a break by Duxbury now for England. Can he get the cross in? No, Moses there for Brazil. And then Tato. But in comes Wilkins, a foul on Junior and a free kick. Assis. Moser. Leandro. Moser. 8 caps he's had. He's only a youngster. They have great faith in him here in Brazil. But Wilkins cutting out that pass well. Finding Sanson. Safely to Robson. This is not the place to make a mistake, though. Sanson again. Oh, well done. They got it up to Wilkins. Robson. Stopped by Moser. In goes Woodcock for a bit of the action. And Robson too. And it comes through in the end to Barnes, who is fractionally offside. Junior. He's trying to get Ricardo, central defender, who's come up to link up with the attack now. So many Brazilians are going forward to put pressure on England. It's a real test of English character now. Leading a goal to nil. Tato getting no respite at all from Mike Duxbury. Brazil throw. Pires from the midfield. Assis from the midfield. 31 years old, making his first appearance. Zenon, another, making his first appearance. He's gone past Robson. Trying to flick it in towards Roberto. A little touch by him, and it didn't get to Renato. And the crowd weren't happy with that, as Sanson gets it back comfortably to Shilton. Fennick getting the ball away towards Woodcock, but it falls instead for Wilkins. Here's Sanson. Wilkins, oh, nasty challenge there by Renato. A free kick to England. Wilkins with it. Woodcock making himself available. Pires there with him. Barnes also available. He got his cross in well. And another one! And Paisley has made it 2. And Barnes provided that one. Well, no wonder he's delighted. And England's players, and I'm sure everybody at home can hardly believe it. What a lovely deep cross in by John Barnes, who scored the first goal sensationally, and there was so little room to squeeze it in, but somehow Paisley did it. 19 minutes of the second half gone. England 2 up. Oh, the Brazilians were looking for a penalty there, but the referee said no. They're warming up another striker, Ronaldo. because suddenly Brazil have got a crisis. Aziz. Chipped in once more, Watson getting that away. They'll throw everything at England now, but England have that 2-goal cushion. Period. Aziz. A cross in once more, and Shilton there for England. Sensational events here in the Maracanã Stadium. England 2-0 to the good. They're going to take off Roberto, the number 9, the striker. And on goes Ronaldo. I understand you've lost pictures, but I'm sure you won't want to lose touch with the Maracanã Stadium at the moment. We'll continue in sound and hope we get those pictures back. Ronaldo is on as a substitute for Brazil, and they need to do something fairly quickly now. Zenon just outside the England penalty area, and Ronaldo beaten away by Duxbury, finds Woodcock, finds Wilking, and Hateley is well offside. And they're going to bring another substitute on now. Vladimir, the number 21, is coming on for Brazil. 2 substitutes allowed, plus a goalkeeper. It's Tato on the far side. It's Junior. Aziz. Zenon. Renato for Brazil. Ronaldo. Renato. Just outside the English penalty area. And Robson gets it away. I gather you got pictures back, and it's a good moment to get them back. As England in with a chance of getting another one, and Woodcock in the end forced away. As Brazil were stretching forward in some confusion now. Woodcock on his way. But in the end, he's foiled, and the shot goes wide. Bringing off the fullback, Leandro. And bringing on Vladimir. Leandro's surrounded. There are over 50 radio stations taking the game up and down South America. And they'll interview just about everything that moves in the Maracanã Stadium. If you've just joined me, let me again give you the sensational news that England are leading Brazil here in Rio by 2-0. A huge crowd, almost stunned by this. This doesn't happen very often. And they've got very important games coming up against Argentina and Uruguay. Here's Aziz. Comes to Hateley. Boos coming up from the crowd. This is not the Brazil they like to see. No foul there. Oh, yes, there was. It was a free kick. Sansom will take it. "21 minutes of the game remaining." Gather you've lost pictures again. It must be infuriating for you. Let me continue as best I can to give you a complete sound picture of what's happening here. It's a free kick to Brazil just outside their penalty area. Tony Woodcock wasting a bit of time and annoying the Brazilian defenders. It's with Zenon on the far side. Brazil knowing that they desperately need a goal now to get back into this game. But Duxbury now taking it up again for England, forcing Brazil back. Robson finding Chamberlain, taking them down that right flank, going past the defender. Vladimir crossed into Robson, a little chip by him, and it almost came to Woodcock. It comes instead to Barnes, his shot deflected, and the keeper gathering for Brazil. Aziz. As Brazil now take it into the England half on the far side of the field. Vladimir finds Sato or Rinaldo. In towards Renato. The flag is up for offside. A free kick to England. 20 minutes of the game remaining. England leading by 2 goals to 0. I understand the pictures are back with you. The picture of Peter Shilton with Mike Duxbury there, about to get a free kick underway for England. 4 matches England have played here in the Maracanã Stadium. They lost 2-0 in 1959, 5-1 in 1964. They lost 2-1 in 1969 and then drew 0-0 here in 1977. Gloriously at the moment, at any rate, in 1984, England leading by 2-0 as Chamberlain now tries to do a Barnes and get in behind that Brazilian defence. He gets a corner. Which Barnes will take. And the Brazilians get that one away to Tato. Moza. Here come Brazil again with Junior. Zenon. Ronaldo, and well, the shot was way off the mark there from Tato. Well, let me just bring in Ian St John for a moment. Back in London, what do you think of it now, Saint?
Well, Brian, I must say, I don't think England will ever have a better chance of winning in Brazil than tonight. They're doing everything right at the moment. And the one thing I would say is I hope the defenders don't start charging forward and trying to get another goal, because all they need to do now is sit at the back, make sure they don't make any mistakes there, and let the forwards make the breaks, because I think if they play that way, they might even get another goal. And I did say at half-time, by the way, that young Hateley might cause him some trouble in the air, and I'm delighted to see that he got that goal.
Yes, that's good news indeed. And we must look then to see that the likes of Fenwick and Watson and Sanson and Duxbury stay firm and resolute at the back, and to see whether the Hateleys and the Woodcocks and the Barneses and the Chamberlains can even add to this lead up front. But certainly the first priority, as Ian says, England must hold on to what they've got. 2-0 the score, 17 minutes remaining, because you can be sure if Brazil get one, the din here will be almost unbearable, and the pressure on England will be intense. But at the moment, it's Robson. Oh, I thought for a moment he'd given it away, but Duxbury gets it back to Shilton. A really vital 10 minutes or so coming up, because if England can hold for these 10 minutes, then it might just be more than Brazil could possibly manage. At the moment, it's Barnes taking the game to them. And now it's Robson. Little cross coming in, and an offside flag is up. Mark Chamberlain. I'm sure this will cheer Graham Roberts up in hospital, the Spurs defender who's down with appendicitis. He's had his appendix operation the day before yesterday. He's much more cheerful when Bobby Robson visited him today. Due out of hospital on Tuesday and due to fly home on Saturday. Well, the way his teammates are performing, I'm sure, will cheer him up. Zenon, though, for Brazil. That's a free kick. This could be a problem. Well, Roberto, who normally takes those stunning free kicks, has been substituted. Moza, who is a defender with a fantastic shot, is there behind it. Junior also. good, and Junior's shot goes over the bar. And who appears to be on his way to Italian football with Torino. Was first spotted, incidentally, playing in one of the many thousand games that you see every day here on Copacabana Beach or Ipanema Beach. Well, here's the replay of that magical moment when Haitley scored the second goal for England. England leading by 2 goals to 0. Fraction under a quarter of an hour left. England needing to hold themselves. And they've got Clive Allen warming up. Robson getting it away. Space now for Woodcock to make a run. Haitley, an ally on this side of the field. Barnes trying to get up. Woodcock being checked and finds Chamberlain. The program we've just taken over from is surprise, surprise, but I think the biggest surprise on the night has got to be this one. England leading 2-0 with 14 minutes to go. And England making a substitution. Tony Woodcock is coming off. And Clive Allen comes on for his first cap, 15 goals in the season for Queen's Park Rangers. And getting... I thought it would be an early touch. In fact, he does from Haitley, but he's offside. Well, Clive, who in his time certainly, I remember one goal at West Ham this season was really what one might call a Brazilian-type goal. A little turn and a little jink and a shot. England's back four. Firmly in line, supported by Robson, standing just in front of them. More work to do now as Brazil take it up. Zenon, sweeping it wide for Pires. Ronaldo had such terrible trouble with his knee injuries, and then has trouble there as England take it up again. Another great foraging run here from Brian Robson. Inside for John Barnes. Clive Allen's waiting there. Haitley with his arm raised on the far side. Here's Wilkins. Robson, offside against Barnes. 13 minutes left. England leading by 2 goals to 0. Barnes and Haitley the scorers. Again with Zenon. Ronaldo. With Duxbury calmly back. Whistles coming up from the crowd. Still 12 minutes left. Some of the disenchanted Brazilians here in the Maracanã Stadium beginning to drift away. Duxbury. Chamberlain. Back it goes. It may not be very positive, but you have to admit it's safe. Not a time to take chances. England leading 2-0, 11 minutes left. They came here a beleaguered football team. They could just go away a triumphant one. It's with Wilkins. And if there was pressure on manager Bobby Robson, my word, a victory here would lift a lot of it. Clive Allen. Looking for Chamberlain. Certainly there will be pressure on the Brazilian manager Edu, who's got the job for 3 matches, would you believe, to see how he makes out. Here's Assis. Played on again for Renato. But Sanson sticking so close. And a corner given. Sanson thought it was a goal kick. 10 minutes left. Brazil desperate for a goal to claw themselves back into the game. Junior, the man who looks as though he might try to engineer one, but not on that occasion. And Duxbury. for England, making the break. Well, as long as he doesn't go too far forward and leave a flank exposed there, because here come Brazil again with Assis. Vladimir. Tato on the far side. Good left foot, crossed in. And that time it was Dave Watson getting it away. Watson making his first appearance, remember, for England. It means, now he's an England player, that Norwich have to pay Liverpool another £100,000 as a part of a transfer deal. Zenon. Good challenge again that time by Allen, but Wilkins gave it away. Svensson was there in the nick of time for England. Brazil swarming around that England penalty area now as Tato on the far side, the cross coming in, and Bennett got that one away. But everybody now back for England as Brazil seek to get this goal that would at least give them a chance. 2-0 down are Brazil. Renato, number 7. Well, that fell for Robson. And a long ball forward towards Allen. But there's Moser, who's quick. Finding Vladimir. Finding Pires. 9 minutes to go. England leading 2-0. And Duxbury gets it back calmly to Shilton. Crowd are swarming away now. They came in their tens of thousands, knowing that Brazil were out-and-out favourites. There'll be a few long faces around Rio tonight. Football means so very much to them here. Long back pass from Wilkins. I was told too that bookmakers back home were saying that England were 6-1 against here tonight, which I think in a two-horse race, as somebody said, they're pretty insulting odds. Well, they've been made to look a bit sick if that in fact was the case. 2-0. A little over 7 minutes left. See the crowd there beginning to drift. And let's just hope England don't cave in these last minutes. There's Watson finding Wilkins. The midfield's done a marvellous job for England tonight, Wilkins and Robson, no doubt about that. Here's Clive Allen, and here's Barnes, who got England on the way with that superb goal, and offside though against Hately. Free kick. It's a really big pitch, this one, as well as being a slightly bumpy one. And Ray Wilkins made the point to me yesterday that England have got to hold themselves together as a team or else be destroyed. And I have to say tonight so far, and I hope I'm not tempting Providence, that they've held themselves together and they've looked a good, solid combination. But wait, here's Assis, and on the far side it's Tato. Did I speak too soon? Vladimir's making a break from the back, but again England, and it was Chamberlain who was right back there, who did the good defensive job, and then Duxbury doing a Brazilian on Brazil, and a free kick to England. Well, Mike Duxbury will be glad to get a good game under his belt. He's had one or two little accidents for England lately, including that one last week at Wembley against Russia, when he slipped and provided the Russians with their first goal. And he's a quality player, and he just needs a good game without any mistake like that, really then to believe it himself. Games coming up on this tour, remember, in Uruguay and in Chile. Tremendous start at the moment with 6 minutes left now, and England leading 2-0. Here's Junior making another driving run for Brazil, finding Assis on the far side. Here's Assis. Junior. And again, Brazil just can't get a move going together, but now maybe they can. Played in once more, Watson was there, and Junior now. And again, Peter Shilton is there to save England. When suddenly it looks as though they might get in, 5 minutes left, as you can see, and England 2-0 up here in Rio. There was Junior put in, and Shilton again, immaculate. Hateley gathering this one and controlling it well. Robson trying to get Allen on his way. A foul against the England substitutes by Pires, and a free kick once more to England. Inside the last 5 minutes on my watch now. And an offside against Clive Allen. Free kick to Brazil. They want to take it quickly. Denon. Stopped by Wilkins. Here's Hateley. Ricardo backpedaling under pressure from Hateley, and Hateley concedes the free kick. Well, who would have thought? I should think Mark Hateley was one of the last to think a few months ago that he'd be playing for England here in the Maracanã Stadium. Least of all that he'd score and seemingly help England on to a victory. But here's another chance now as Robson goes right through, and it's just wide of the post. So very close, England's captain, to making it number 3. Catching out the Brazilians with a lovely break from the midfield. 3 minutes are left on my watch. The official scoreboard says 4. There's precious little time for Brazil to save themselves, but here they come again. Assis to Junior. Just about their most experienced international. Can he still find something for them? Assis again. Tato on the far side. There's the cross coming in, and once again it's Pennick who's there for England to get it away. Here it is. Now Sanson stopping him, and then Robson turning it up. Renato. This could be trouble. No. England again are there. And once more, it's Terry Pennick. No complaints about the England back four tonight after that very shaky opening 10 minutes. Wilkins putting it away into touch. 2 minutes on my watch remaining, and England 2-0 up. Here is for Brazil. It's not the best side Brazil could put out, but it's not the best side England could put out. Ronaldo trying to find Renato, but Sanson is right there with him again. And Sanson wins that little battle and gets it safely back to Shilton and gets some applause from his England teammates as well for it. Down below me I can see Bobby Robson, and what a night it'll be for him as well if England can just hold it now for a little more than a minute. What a boost for England with the World Cup games coming up early next season. Barnes takes it up again, and the whistle has gone for an offside. I make it now 1 minute. So it's certainly got to be a sensational finish if Brazil are going to save it now, but you never know. And there might be a bit of time to be added to stoppages, but not a lot. Wilkins battling away, having his shirt virtually pulled off him, and giving England the free kick. He's just about given everything, Ray Wilkins, tonight, and the same for Robson. And in fact, the whole England team come away from the Maracanã Stadium with great credit here. Referee looking at his watch. I make it about 15 seconds left. Chamberlain trying to get there first. Assis taking it up. Even nicer to finish with a clean sheet. And back it'll go to Shilton. Take it easy, he says to Terry Fenwick. Don't try anything silly. Final whistle. England have won it. The first time they've won here in Maracanã Stadium. The first time they've beaten Brazil in 28 years. And against all the odds, they've done it here in 1984. With a stupendous goal by John Barnes right on half-time. A fine header by Mark Hateley in the second half. And a really excellent all-round team performance, which I'm sure has delighted everybody at home. Let me hand you back then to Jim Rosenthal, Jimmy Greaves and Ian St John with the joyous news. Brazil 0, England 2.
Well, what a magnificent night. First of all, my apologies for the break-up in picture there. I can assure you we were as annoyed about it as you were, but Brian Moore's radio training standing him in good stead there. Let's go over to Jimmy Greaves. Jimmy, just evaluate that result for us.
Well, it's one of the great England wins. It's got to be. You cannot go to a place like the Maracanã in front of 150,000 people against any Brazilian team. Admittedly, I think they were a very poor Brazilian team. But taking all that aside, it goes down as one of the great wins of all time.
Ian, Bobby Robson has had a terrific amount of criticism. He said over there he was going to keep his nerve. He expected the players to keep their nerves as well. What's your evaluation of Bobby Robson tonight?
Well, I think Bobby Robson, obviously, as Brian was saying, will be a delighted man tonight. And I'm delighted for him because I know the pressure that he's been under. He's stuck to his guns. He's played what he wanted to play, which is an attacking formation. And he's been slated in the press for doing that. And I think tonight it's been justified. Now, I know that, as Jimmy said, the Brazilians weren't the best. And I think, Jimmy, you know, with the wingers there, it may be a point of the future.
Well, what we've got to do now, Ian, is justify that win, isn't it? So too many times in the past we've gone and won in sensational way, only to be let down by future results. And what we've got to do now, Jim, is say, right, let's build on this win. Could this be the start of something?
Very quick comment from you, Jimmy, about the young players, Watson and Hateley.
They all played super. I mean, you can't criticise England on a night like tonight, Jim.
No, you can't.
No, it's 10 out of 10, Jim, for everybody tonight.
Jimmy, Ian, thank you both very much indeed. Well, a magnificent night really for England over there in Rio. England beating Brazil for the very first time over there and getting our South American tour off to a great start. I hope you've enjoyed the game. Another outstanding night for England, for Hateley and Barnes. Bye-bye.
Live coverage from South America of the match between Uruguay and England.